Hey guys, YouTuber 100 here. Alright, and now here I am continuing with my Lord of the Rings Hobbit reviews. Now, here I am, returning and to finish off with the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings trilogy with the review for The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. So, yeah, what can I say about this film people haven't said? This is just Yeah, Return of the King just is just a phenomenal film. I mean, yeah, I've said before, I've already called like the first two films phenomenal, but this one is especially phenomenal. I mean, yeah, Return of the King just like has it all. I mean, yeah, I mean this film, like I said before, it's ranked number 7 as of right now on IMDb's top 250, and yeah, this film has also won like a bunch of awards. Like this film won 11 freaking Oscars, and yeah, along with like 4 Golden Globes and 4 BAFTAs. So yeah, this film is really held in high regards to a lot of people, and yeah, it is deservedly so. I mean, Return of the King is just like a really outstanding film. I mean, yeah, you remember what I was talking about when I reviewed the Rankin Bass Return of the King? Yeah, and yeah, you saw that. I really didn't like that version, and it just really didn't tell the story very good. This one tells the story so much better, and it really does like have it all. I mean, yeah, this really just, along with the other two Lord of the Rings films, this just really has everything. It has just loads of action, drama, romance, horror, comedy. Yeah, it just has it all. And yeah, this one it just is especially just so great. I mean, yeah, the film is like pretty long. I mean, the film, like the theatrical release, is already about 3.5 hours long, and if you watch the extended edition, it's like 4 hours long. So yeah, this is like probably one of the longest films ever made. But yeah, it really is worth it because in these these like nearly 3.5 hours, it just is like so great. I mean, yeah, this film just has really like some of the best action scenes ever, and yeah, it just really does have it on, and it really does end the trilogy out on a so like a phenomenal note. Yeah, so yeah, I would definitely say this is a bona fide 4-star film. I mean, yeah, it just really is so great. And yeah, I just was talking about like how long this film is, and yeah, I kind of like have a funny story to share with you guys real quick about this film. Back when my brother went to see this film in the theater, like when he went to see it, like he had like this big thing of soda that he had with him, like a really like large cup of soda that he had got from the concessions when he went to see this film, and yeah, and he like was drank like a lot of it, and yeah, by the time like the film had started, he like got drank like a quite the amount from it, and yeah, you all know like this film does kind of have like a quite the bit of like false endings where like you think it's gonna end and it doesn't. Yeah, and yeah, there were like a few points in this film, like my brother, like when he saw this film in theaters, like there were points where like a point where like he like really had to go to the bathroom bad, and yeah, he was just like got fooled by like all a bunch of the false endings in this film, and he just like kept holding it, like he did not want to go to the bathroom during the film, like he wanted to wait until it ended, and yeah, there were like times when he would like need to go, and when he thought it was gonna end, he got up, but it didn't end, and yeah, that just like that like happened with him like quite the number of times when he went to see the film, and when it finally did end, like he literally like as other people were getting up, he like pushed them back into their seats, and he was like just like hightailed it to the restroom. So yeah, that's just kind of a funny story my brother told me back when he went to see this film, and yeah, so that's just kind of showing you like how long the film really was for him, especially. Yeah, but yeah, this. So that's just like a funny story that I wanted to share with you guys real quick. But yeah, this is just like such a really great film. You do have like all the cast still returning. Yeah, you still have Elijah Wood, Sean Astin, Ian McKellen, and Billy Boyd, Viggo Mortensen, Dominic Monaghan, John Rhys Davis, Orlando Bloom. Yeah, just yeah, the entire like ensemble cast returning. So yeah, you still have everybody really pretty much reprising their roles, and yeah, it just is told like really just. And this is really such a great film, and definitely like I would definitely call this the best one of the trilogy, bar none. I mean, yeah, I have said that like Fellowship of the Ring is probably my favorite one, but yeah, I would say this is definitely the best one of the trilogy. It is just a phenomenal film. Alright, so yeah, film is pretty long, like I said, about 3.5 hours, so let me not waste any time and let me just get right into it. Alright, so the movie opens up with kind of like a flashback. It opens up like showing like Gollum's origins. Like it does show Smeagol and Deagle fishing, and then Deagle ends up like being pulled into the water, and he then finds the One Ring in the river, and he retrieves it. Yeah, and then yeah, Smeagol then ended up, of course, like being like taken by the ring, like it like was controlling him, and just having his desire for it just ended up being ensnared by it, really. And then yeah, Smeagol and Deagle end up like fighting for it, and then yeah, Smeagol eventually ends up killing Deagle for the ring, and then yeah, Smeagol then just ended up being like retreated into the Misty Mountains, and then yeah, I showed like the ring ended up like twisting up his body, and then over time he like ended up like becoming like the just like the the creature Gollum. So yeah, I did. So I found it kind of interesting that this film did open up with Gollum's origins. So yeah, and then yeah, it then cut back to like the current times, and it did like continue the story with Gollum still like continuing to lead Frodo and Sam to Mordor as they thought, but of course like Gollum was actually leading them to Shelob. Yeah, and it also showed that Aragorn, Legolas, Gimli, and King Theoden, or Theoden, sorry, ended up being like led by Gandalf off to Isengard, and then yeah, they ended up being reunited with Merry and Pippin, and yeah, it was like it was then like revealed that Sauron ended up like being defeated. He did after like the Battle of Helm's Deep was won, and then yeah, Gandalf like ended up like having possession of the pa- Saruman's Palantir, yeah, and then yeah, and it showed that Gandalf did have the Seeing Stone from Sauron, and then yeah, like Pippin ended up like sneaking it away from Gandalf as Gandalf was sleeping, and yeah, Pippin ended up like looking into the stone, and then like it showed the like vision from Sauron or stuff, and then yeah, Pippin like ended up being attacked by a Sauron telepathically, yeah, and then yeah, Gandalf was then able to like console Pippin, and like Gandalf then like ended up deducing that Sauron will actually attack uh, Minas Tirith, the capital of Gondor, and so then uh, Gandalf took Pippin with him, and then they rode over to Gondor, and they were trying to warn Denethor, or who was like the steward for Gondor. Or and then yeah, Pippin like ended up just like volunteering to Denethor to be like a servant to him and stuff. Yeah, and then and yeah, with Sam and Frodo, like Gollum ended up like taking them to Minas Morgul, and then they ended up like seeing like the Witch King of Angmar leading an orc army, and then yeah, they started to like climb up like a stair carved in the cliff, and like the Gollum was like making them believe that this is like taking them into Mordor through like a secret way. Hey, and yeah, of course, like this was just like a setup by Gollum in an attempt to kill them and stuff, and then yeah, like Sam could like overhear at one point he overheard like Gollum like planning the attack on them to kill them, but then like as Sam tried to go after a Gollum, like Frodo just ended up like stopping him and stuff, like he just like didn't believe that Gollum was actually plotting to kill them and stuff. And so yeah, and that one. So then Sam was just like kind of like keeping a watch on Gollum and stuff. And so yeah, and so yeah, and then yeah, Sauron's army like ended up like striking Osgiliath, and then it ended up like forcing like uh, Faramir here and his like garrison army to like retreat back to Minas Tirith. Yeah, and then later on, like as Sam and Frodo were sleeping, Gollum ended up like uh, taking away like the last of Frodo and Sam's food, and he was like framing Sam for it by like uh, dumping a few crumbs onto Sam and then disposing of the food, and then like once Frodo then like saw the crumbs on Sam. Frodo just felt that Sam had like turned on Frodo, and then Frodo then just like ended up like saying that he didn't need Sam anymore, and then just sent Sam home. And then yeah, Frodo continued with Gollum to Mordor as he thought. Yeah, and yeah, after like like they Frodo supposedly had arrived to the tunnel that would lead to Mordor, Gollum ended up like setting Frodo up, of course, to venture into the through the tunnel, and it actually ended up leading to the lair of Shelob, which was a giant spider. And yeah, Shelob, of course, like tried going after Frodo, and Frodo ended up like escaping in Shelob. And then yeah, Gollum then ended up appearing also, and then yeah, after like Gollum had ambushed a Frodo, well, like Frodo just was telling Gollum that he actually needs to destroy the ring for both of their sakes, and of course, like Gollum did not like that, so Gollum was just enraged, and he tried to attack Frodo, but then like Gollum just ended up like falling down a chasm, which was just like a long ways down. Yeah, and then yeah, Frodo, well, like was still like trying to continue on his own, but then yeah, Shelob then like found Frodo again, and then just ended up like knocking Frodo out, and then just like binding him up with a bunch of webs. And then, but before Shelob could actually do anything, like Sam then arrived and ended up saving Frodo. But yeah, Frodo like was just completely unresponsive, and so Sam thought Frodo was actually dead. But then yeah, then like orcs then arrived, and Sam ended up hiding, and then yeah, they orcs discovered that Frodo was actually alive, and then they took Frodo with them. Yeah, and yeah, and yeah. Meanwhile, while all that was going on, like Aragorn was helping a Theoden gather up like all their forces to form an army, and then yeah, Elrond ended up approaching Aragorn, and he told Aragorn that Arwen was dying, and after like Aragorn gave a vision of her son, um, on like Elrond then just ended up like refusing to leave Middle Earth, or Arwen, yeah, and then yeah, Aragorn then gave Elrond gave Aragorn the sword, Anduril, which was actually Isildur's sword that was reforged by Narsil, so that Aragorn was able to reclaim his birthright, right? As he was like trying to gain some reinforcements from the dead man of Dunharrow. Yeah, and yeah, Legolas and Gimli then like eventually joined up with Aragorn, and yeah, they then like ended up traveling to the Pass of the Dead to recruit the army. And yeah, it was shown that the only way to really release the army from Isildur's curse, Earth, and stuff. Yeah, yeah. The and then Farum. Then yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit brain tongue tied here. Yeah, they the army could only be released from the curse Isildur ended up placing on them for refusing to fight Sauron by one of his heirs. yeah, one of Aragorn's heirs could break the curse and stuff. Yeah, and then during the battle between the armies and the army and the orcs, sorry, Faramir ended up being uh wounded after uh, trying to retake Osgiliath, and because he thought that his son was actually dead, and then Denethor ended up like falling into madness, and then yeah, Gandalf then just ended up being left to defend the city against the orc army that Gollum was leading, and then yeah, Gollum's army was then like forcing their way into the city, and then Denethor like was trying to kill himself and Faramir on a pyre, and then yeah, after like Pippin told Gandalf they were able to save Faramir, but Denethor ended up like leaping to his death from the top of Minas Tirith before Theoden and his nephew ended up arriving with the horror Rohirrim. I'm sorry. Yeah, these words are kind of like a little hard to say. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, during the Battle of Pelennor Fields, the Rohirrim seemed to actually have the advantage, but then they end up being overwhelmed by like these the Harridan, which are like riding like these huge elephant type of creatures. Yeah, and then yeah, the Witch King then ended up like killing a Theoden. Theoden, yeah, and but then yeah, Eowyn and Theoden's niece, he's like ended up like battling the Witch King, as she was like posing as a male soldier, and then yeah, after like the Witch King ended up seeming to overpower Eowyn, then Merry then arrived and ended up like slaying the Witch King on his own, and then it was revealed that it was Eowyn as that soldier, and then yeah, Theoden then ended up eventually dying, and then yeah, Aragorn then arrived with the army of the dead, and then yeah, they ended up like finishing off the orcs and winning the battle, and then yeah, Aragorn then allowed the army of the dead to just go to their rest, and then yeah, Aragorn and the rest of the captains then just ended up leading everyone who can march upon the Black Gate. Hey, to create a distraction so Sam and Frodo can get to Mount Doom, and yeah, Gandalf then like during this time, like Gandalf and Pippin had found out that Frodo and Sam were actually heading to Mount Doom to destroy the ring and stuff. So yeah, then yeah, they then like had Aragorn and the others do this to create a distraction to give Sam and Frodo some help. So yeah, and then yeah, they ended up then drawing out Sauron's forces, and then yeah, they were able to clear out Mordor, and yeah, then yeah, Sam eventually did end up like rescuing a Frodo from the rest of the orcs, and then yeah, at first like yeah, Sam like showed to Frodo that he did take the ring and stuff. So yeah, they still had the ring, and so they then continued on their journey to Mount Doom, and then yeah, they eventually did arrive, but then yeah, Gollum like ended up like attacking them just as they were arriving. When yeah, as Frodo was about to like actually destroy the ring, like it of course like he was like completely overtaken by the power of the ring, and yeah, Frodo of course was claiming it as his own and refused to destroy it, and then yeah, Frodo of course like put the ring on again and it turned him invisible, but then yeah, Gollum then knocked Sam out, and then he went after Frodo as Frodo was invisible, and then yeah, Gollum then bit Frodo's finger off, and then yeah, he like was able to reclaim the ring, but then yeah, Frodo then like like went at it with Gollum some more, and then eventually like he ended up knocking Gollum off of the cliff, and then yeah, Gollum was of course holding the ring, so yes, Gollum ended up like falling into the volcano, and then the ring along with him, and so yeah, Gollum and the ring ended up being destroyed, and then yeah, of course after that, then like Sauron ended up like being destroyed, and then yeah, it then like caused a chain reaction as well, and yeah, Barad-dûr ended up being toppled, and then yeah, the mountain ended up being consumed, and yeah, a lot of the orcs ended up like being killed also, as they were like the ground was like ended up crumbling beneath them, and then yeah, Frodo and Sam were just racing to escape the volcano, and then yeah, Gandalf then was able to fly in with the eagles, and yeah, he ended up saving the Sam and Frodo, yeah, and then it just then showed like Frodo then ended up like awakening in like the houses of healing, and then yeah, he then saw Gandalf, and yeah, Frodo and Sam were then like reunited with Gandalf, Merry, Pippin, Aragorn, uh, Legolas, and Gimli. Yeah, and then yeah, it then showed Aragorn ended up being crowned as the king of Gondor, and yeah, Arwen was then taken by Aragorn as his queen, and then yeah, it showed then Frodo, Sam, Merry, and Pippin all returning to the Shire, and then yeah, it showed then Sam ended up marrying Rosie Cotton, and then it showed like a few years were passing by, and yeah, it showed that Bilbo was getting like really old, and so then Gandalf was gonna take a Bilbo to the Undying Lands, and so then yeah, Frodo had decided that he was gonna go with them, and so then yeah, Frodo then like gave Sam like Bilbo's book, Red Book of the West March, and it like included like a bunch of stories from Bilbo, and then yeah, Frodo also of course like left out some blank pages at the end for Sam, and then yeah, Frodo then like said goodbye to Sam, Merry, and Pippin, and departed with Bilbo, Gandalf, and the other elves. Yeah, and then yeah, it then just like the movie then just ended with then Sam just returning to the Shire, and then he just met with his wife and children, and then there was an ending narration by Frodo just like talking about Sam, and then just saying he wishes Sam just well, he said that Sam will have a great life with his family and just have some more adventures in the future. And then yeah, the movie then just ended, and as it ended, like it actually did say the end. So yeah, it actually did like actually go with the end for this section to show that this was actually like the very end of the story that all three of these films were telling. So yeah, a really nice way to bookend it with it actually saying the end. So yeah, a really great film, and something that I actually did think of after I saw this ending is that if Peter Jackson ever wanted to do something in like a continuation of these films in the future, since he did like do the Hobbit trilogy, I was thinking that since like we had the stuff with Sam at the end, I was just thinking like when I was watching this ending that they they could actually like do a standalone Sam spin-off movie just like set like after the events of this film, and then just like talk about like any have it be about like many possible adventures that Sam could actually have now that he now had a family life and he had that book. So yeah, I was actually thinking that could be a possibility if Peter Jackson ever wanted to do something like as a continuation from the events of these films, rather than like what he did with the Hobbit trilogy, with just it being a prequel trilogy to these films. So yeah, that actually is something that I just was thinking about. So who knows? I mean, that could be a possibility to do. I mean, it would be interesting to see. I mean, of course, like the Lord, the Rings, and the Hobbit are based on these movies are based on books, but yeah, I was thinking that maybe they could actually try something from scratch and really just make their own thing with like Sam on any possible adventure he could have after the events of these movies. So yeah, that could be like something up in the air for them to think about. So yeah, we'll see if that ever comes to light. But yeah, nonetheless, this is just like a really, really great film. 4 stars out of 4. Like I said, it just is so great. I mean, it really has great action, great drama, great romance, great comedy. Just it has it all really. And yeah, this really did like send the trilogy out on a very high note, and it just is such a great film, and it really is deserving of all the praise it has. So, yeah, what else can I really say about it? It just is a phenomenal masterpiece. So, yeah, just such a great film overall. So, yeah, alright, so, yeah, I guess, yeah, that does it for my review of Lord of the Rings Return of the King. It just really is a great film, and yeah, everyone has said it, and everyone has seen it, so I don't really need to recommend it because you all have already seen it. So, yeah, just a great film. Alright, so that does it for my review of Return to the King, and that wraps it up with the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings trilogy. But yeah, still not done with these reviews yet. Now, to finish off the month, now up next I will review Peter Jackson's Hobbit trilogy, which kind of does have kind of a, a interesting reception to it. So, well, how do I feel about the Hobbit movies as like follow-up projects to these films? Well, stay tuned for my reviews of the films to find out. So yeah, my reviews for Peter Jackson's Hobbit trilogy are coming up next to finish off the month, so stay tuned for those. And so yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this review and my review of these movies, the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.